Today, we are stepping inside the Golestan Palace. It is an absolutely stunning masterpiece from Iran's Qajar era. And believe it or not, it's the only UNESCO World Heritage site right in the bustling heart of Tehran. We're going to explore how this palace isn't just a building. It's more like a storybook of a nation written in tile, marble, and mirror.
Yeah, this palace is so much more than just a collection of beautiful buildings. It's practically a living archive. So you have to wonder, right? How did this one royal complex become a silent witness to 5 whole centuries of a nation's story, from its most lavish celebrations to its most challenging moments?
To really get a feel for the palace today, we've got to rewind the clock. Long before it became this famous icon of the Qajar dynasty, its foundations were already being laid, setting the stage for centuries of incredible transformation.
The palace's history is kind of like a relay race of dynasties. It all started back in the 16th century as an ark, which is basically a fortified citadel built by the Safavids. Then it got a facelift from the Zands, and in 1794, it hit the big time when Aga Muhammad Khan made it the capital of the Qajar Empire. Even the later Pahlavi dynasty held their biggest coronations here, which all led to its well-deserved recognition by UNESCO in 2013.
Okay, let's step inside. The name Golestan actually translates to Palace of Flowers, and as we start our tour, you are about to see just how perfect that name is. I mean, every single corner reveals a mind-blowing level of artistry, a real testament to the wealth and ambition of the Shahs who once walked these very halls. Our first stop is one of the oldest and most iconic parts of the whole complex, the incredible marble throne, or Takht-e Marmar. This was commissioned way back in 1806 by Fath Ali Shah Qajar, and it was the literal seat of power for all the official court ceremonies.
And you can really see the sheer ambition of the Qajar Shahs in this piece. The whole throne is made from 65 separate blocks of yellow marble, all from a mine in Yazd. But you gotta look closer at the base. It's held up by these exquisitely carved figures, a mix of human-like angels and mythical demons, just a true masterpiece of Persian stonework.
From the throne, let's just turn our gaze upwards, way up, to the Edifice of the Sun, or Shams-ol-Emareh. When it was finished, this thing just towered over the city. It was a symbol of a monarch looking out over his domain and, towards the modern world.
And there's such a fascinating story behind it. Nasser al-Din Shah was totally inspired by the tall buildings he saw on his travels in Europe. So bringing that style back wasn't just about looking cool, it was a powerful statement about Iran's place in the modern world. It was all about this desire to blend tradition with global influence. And that famous clock at the top? That was a personal gift from Britain's Queen Victoria herself.
Okay, get ready to be amazed. We're now entering the Hall of Mirrors, or Talar-e Aineh. Now, it's a relatively small hall, but it is one of the most famous in the entire palace, and it's completely covered in these intricate mirror mosaics that just reflect light in 1,000 different directions. It's so mesmerizing that it was famously captured in an iconic painting by the master artist Kamal-ul-Mulk, a work that's become as famous as the hall itself. Our last stop on this quick tour is the Windcatcher Mansion. See those 4 tall towers? Those are badgers, and they are an ancient and super ingenious Persian design element. They're made to funnel cool breezes down into the building, basically providing natural air conditioning in the summer heat. How clever is that? But the Golestan Palace is so much more than just stunning architecture. Let's dive into how these very halls served as the stage for a nation in transition. I mean, think about it. From the coronations of the Qajar kings that kicked off a new dynasty to hosting critical meetings during the Constitutional Revolution, this palace was the absolute center of political life. And this continued right into the 20th century, with both Pahlavi Shahs choosing this historic spot for their own grand coronations in 1926 and 1967.
But history here also has a darker, more personal side. In what has to be the ultimate act of dominance, the first Qajar king, Aga Muhammad Khan, had the bones of his defeated rival, Karim Khan Zand, dug up and reburied under a staircase he used every single day, just so he could literally trample on his enemy's remains.
But the palace was also a site of innovation. Nasser al-Din Shah was completely fascinated by the new technology of photography, so he set up a photo studio right here in the palace, creating one of the earliest and most extensive photographic archives in the entire country.
And this wasn't just some stuffy, formal royal hobby. The atmosphere was surprisingly relaxed. Get this, photography was so common at the royal palace that the king's wives and his servants also took pictures and posed playfully in front of the camera.
It just gives us this rare, candid peek into 19th century court life.
The palace's history is, well, it's still being written, and sometimes tragically. Recently, the complex actually suffered significant damage. Shockwaves from nearby airstrikes shattered windows, cracked ceilings, and destroyed some of that priceless, irreplaceable mirror work. It's a really stark reminder that this incredible piece of world heritage is still so vulnerable.
But despite the challenges, the Golestan Palace is still an absolute must-see. So if you're inspired to visit, here's some practical info to help you plan your trip.
First things first, you should know that visiting hours actually change with the seasons. In the warmer first half of the year, the palace is open a bit longer, but in the autumn and winter, the hours are shorter, and ticket sales always end an hour before closing time.
Okay, here are a few final tips. The easiest way to get there by far is using the Tehran metro to the 15 courtyard station. And while it's great year-round, autumn and winter are often the best for avoiding the biggest crowds. You should definitely plan for a full day. The complex is huge. And finally, always check ahead for closures, especially around national holidays.
We've talked about coronations, crazy rivalries, and revolutions, all held within these walls. But exploring the Golestan Palace really leaves you with one last, tantalizing thought. After 500 years of history, if these dazzling walls could truly talk, what other secrets of an empire would they tell?